So how'd you find out the news?
I just waited silently, was with my brothers, waiting calmly for the news. And, luckily I made it, it's God's blessing from Jesus Christ.
What do you think you did to be on this team?
Worked hard, I took coaching well. Everybody in that building wanted to help me, from the players to the coaches. So, I listened to everything they said, and they were always willing to help me no matter what time of the day or the night. So I always, picked up on what they told me to do and just worked hard.
Is there a piece of advice you got from anyone, whether it's Clint Hurt or anyone that helped you the most?
Don't leave with regrets. Just keep working. You're going to remember what you didn't do more than what you did do. So you're going to just keep working hard, leave no regrets on the field and in the practice and the weight room.
What did you learn on the practice squad last year? You were there all year.
What it takes to be a man. Going against the #1 offensive lineman in the league, straight from college, it was a big step. But, they trusted me. They were patient with me. And it was a big opportunity for me to grow as a player and as a man. I learned so many lessons, and I would not trade it for the world, and I was truly a blessing to be there.
When you got here last year, did you feel like right away that you had some developing to do?
Yeah, 100%, especially coming here. But, there was a blessing that, the head coach, everybody was so patient with me. They believed in me, and that was a good thing for me, too. And it made me work harder, knowing that I had the coaching staff behind me, and it made me come here and work and be hungry every single day.
And then yesterday, how we talked about the development program and the development period. Can you talk about why that works?
I haven't been to any other place, but I honestly feel like they have the best development program in the league. They're so patient with you. No matter who you are, I was an undrafted free agent, and they came in here and were just wanted to help, wanted to see me succeed, wanted to just treat me like I was just a regular guy on the team. And it was such a blessing to be here. I think God put me here for a reason, to be with them and the skills that they have. They always, no matter what I needed, they were always willing and ready to help me.
As far as your skill set, where do you think you've improved most over that year?
Weight room and mentally. Coming in here, like being, like not knowing what to expect, not knowing what to do, just coming in and now knowing when I step on that field, I can be here. I'm ready to play with my brothers and show them what I can do.
When they traded Thomas Booker, did you think your chances of staying would be improved, or how'd you look at it at the time?
It was, I always, everybody's here to compete, but that was my brother. I was a rookie. He was one of the vets that helped me a lot. I will miss him a lot, and it was thanks to him and other people like him that helped me to be here right now.
How did he help you?
Just every single thing, the play, when I got here, the playbook came at me quick. If I needed extra plays, teaching me how to get in my routine as a vet, he was always there to help me.
When you were on the practice squad, how did you balance being scout team and helping give looks, but also improving your own game?
It kind of tied in together. I'm doing practice squad, but you're also going against the best people, in my opinion, in the world. So it was a time for me to work on my craft, work on what I need to work on while going against amazing competition.
Talk about the emotion you felt when you heard you made the team, and who did you call right away?
Amazing. First person I called my mom. I was so happy. It's a thing I've been looking forward to since I was little. So, that moment was truly special. And I'm still in disbelief right now.
So, Gabe, there's a difference between then, taking this step, and then the next step is contributing and being on the field. So how do you feel about the next step and what you have to do to get there?
I'm going to continue to work hard, take my blessings as they come, wait for my name to get called and take the most of my opportunities that come in front of me.
What was Mom's reaction?
Just amazing, she just couldn't believe, it was something I've talked about since I was a kid, and I'm here now. So we know that this is just the beginning of the first step, so just keep working.
You had a pretty serious knee injury, I guess, your freshman year at Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
How did you overcome that? What was that process like?
There was doubt, there was sadness, but that was another thing that brought me closer to God. I prayed more, got more. That's when I started being more serious about the process and working hard, taking care of my body. So it's one of those things, you learn from, you get better from.
You're pretty long to be a defensive tackle, but you can play outside. How does it help you being that long?
The leverage, you know how to not a lot of people can touch my chest, So it's just learning how to play with my length. That's another thing they're teaching me to do is to play strong with my length. So that's another thing they're helping me with.
Is there anyone with that similar body type that you've tried to watch and emulate?
Chris Jones. Chris Jones, 100%. He has all the tools that I have. If I could, be on his level, that'd be amazing.
Byron Young was kind of in your shoes last year too. He was on the roster. He wasn't on the practice squad. But did you guys hang out together, talk about what's going on?
One of my best friends. We always hang out together. If I have free time, I'm probably hanging out with him. That's my brother to me. So we always gonna hang out. Me and him always working hard. This whole off season we was all working. We needed somebody to push you. You know, the days you're tired, you're achy, we be like, nah, come on, you know what we trying to get to. So that's my brother.
To find out that you both made the roster, not just one or the other, was that pretty exciting?
Oh, amazing. You know, I got another year of my brother, so it just feels amazing. You know, we're gonna keep working. You know, we're gonna keep pushing.
What's
As
it
you
like
were
playing
going through all
with-
that last year, did you see this day in sight? Like, did you see it ending with this?
Yeah, I pray to end it with this. You know, but just keep working. You know, nothing's guaranteed, but you know, you just keep working no matter what happens.
What's it like playing with Jalen Carter, somebody with that kind of talent?
Bro, he was born to play D tackle, bro. I'll tell you that much. He just has so many gifts, you know, just natural athlete, naturally strong, and just learning from him. And it was crazy because you know how knowing is Jalen Carter, amazing person. So I came in and was kind of like, dang, how's he gonna be? He the first one to greet me, the first one to like, hey, what's good, what's good? When I had questions, just always smiling to help me. You know, that was a blessing to be here with him. Just an amazing person.
I'm sorry. Is he a kind of guy you learn just from watching him, just some of the stuff he does?
Yes, watching him, and then if you ask him, he's always ready to help. He's just so happy to help you. You know, he's just a great player, and he wants those around him to be great too.
Honestly, didn't really see it coming, but I love this organization here and have a lot of respect for how Howie and Nick do things here. And obviously, my time at Washington, we played these guys a couple times a year, so I know how good this team is, know how good this organization is. So I'm just happy to be here and just try to help every way I can.
How much pre-draft interaction did you have with the Eagles?
Yeah, a good little bit. I'd say, I mean, definitely they did their work on me, and obviously just didn't work out at the time, but I'm just happy it worked out now, and I'm glad to be here.
Some of your best performances came against the Eagles back in 2023. What do you remember about those games?
Yeah, shoot, I remember just feel like I played pretty well. Wish we could have came out with the win in both of those. We lost both close games, and yeah, I mean, I remember knowing that this is a good football team, and tough to come here to Philly and get a win, and even playing at home in Washington, there's a lot of Philly fans there as well. So I know what this organization means to the people in Philadelphia, and you learn that as soon as you come here one time and play them. But yeah, definitely had some good battles with them, but happy to be on this side of it now.
How challenging is it learning everything in about 2 weeks?
Yeah, you know, for me, this is my fifth offense I've had to learn in the NFL, so I'm kind of used to learning new things and feel like I do pretty well at learning things pretty fast. So I'll be ready to go.
Are there any tricks to learning it quickly?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just time. You got to sacrifice a lot of time, and I've spent a lot of time in this building since I've been here since Sunday night, and it'll continue to be that way, just so I'm ready to go.
How do you describe the experience of being a starter for a full season and then having to take a step back to where you're at now?
Yeah, it's definitely different. You know, obviously would love to get an opportunity to start again in this league, but at the same time, you got to take a step back and try to learn. And this is a place here where obviously Jalen's here, and I have a lot of respect for how Jalen does things and a lot of respect for his game and as a player. So it's a good opportunity for me to just sit back and watch and just learn. Because I think the world of him as a player. Obviously, he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and so just try to learn this year and help any way I can. And if I get an opportunity, try to go out there and play well.
How much does it help having Jahan here, who you have a relationship with?
Yeah, Jahan's the man. He's a great player, and we had a lot of fun together. Our 2 years together in Washington. I think the world of him as a player, as a guy. He's a star in this league, and obviously I know we have a lot of great receivers here, but Jahan's a star. It's cool to be back with him.
Do you think you could be ready if they needed you to back up Jalen week 1?
Yeah, I'll be ready to go. Whatever they ask me to do, I'll be ready to go.
What about your impressions of Jalen, both from the outside and now that you've had maybe 4 or 5 days to be with him and everything? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, honestly, this is probably our first real day together, kind of our first full day. But yeah, know Jalen a little bit just from playing him and seeing him in some places. But I think the world of him as a player, as a person. I know how hard he works. I know how much this means to him. So it's been fun to get to work with him.
From a logistics standpoint, what have the last few days been like for you?
Yeah, kind of crazy. Obviously got traded, I think it was Sunday morning, and was on a flight and got here Sunday night. So living in a hotel for a little while, but definitely got to figure some things out. But at the end of the day, just happy to be here and happy to be a part of this organization.
Have you always been a McKee at all? Any familiarity with Tanner McKee?
Not really. Haven't really been around each other. But actually, funny enough, my quarterback coach when I was in Washington, he's still a quarterback coach there. Tavita Pritchard was his offensive coordinator at Stanford. So Tavita was always talking about Tanner. But I think the world of Tanner as well. You know, Tanner's been a great player so far in his league. I think this is year 3 maybe for him, but he's been great. Every time he's had to step in there and play, he's done a heck of a job. So I'm just excited to be here with these guys. A great room, great guys, and we're just gonna try to make each other better every day.
What did Kevin or Quasey, what did they tell you when they made the trade?
I'm not gonna go into too much specifics, but I think they needed some resources to go out and get some other things. But like I said, happy to be here. Obviously, was grateful for my time there in Minnesota. Great people, great organization, and it was great to learn from Kevin for, I guess it was a couple months. But happy to be here.
How long does it take for like the shock of getting traded to wear off?
I don't think I can answer that yet. Still kind of feeling it. But it's just a blessing to walk in this building every day and put on an NFL jersey. So I'm blessed.
What have you always been a quick learner, and what qualities kind of go into just having the focus to be able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it's you got to put the time in, and I think a lot of it's just mental toughness. There's some late nights, early mornings, and you just got to grind through it, and you just got to do what you got to do and make sure you're ready to go. And I love football. I love learning. New systems, and obviously this is a system that they've had a lot of success with. So it's cool to learn it and go watch the film and see how Jalen's been doing it for the past couple of years, and just try to learn as fast as possible so I can be ready to go.
Let me just follow up. Is most of that time by yourself, or is it with a coach or a teammate, or how does that work?
It's a combination of a lot of things. The staff here has been great. They've helped me a lot and will continue to help me a lot, and the guys have been great. Jalen and Tanner they're both willing to answer questions and stuff that I have, and have a relationship with some of the guys here, just from some former things, and they've all been good.
How Howie scouted you in person? Did you have exposure to him during the draft process once he told you about what he liked about your game?
Yeah. I mean, Howie's a great dude. Obviously, a lot of respect for what he's done. Yeah, he told me a story about how he came to that Thursday night game and ended up trading for both me and Kenny, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, I know Howie's kind of tried to trade for me a lot of times, I think, and happy to be here with them for sure.
How would you describe how your career's gone so far?
Yeah, up and down. I still see myself as a young player who's getting better, and hopefully I get another opportunity in this league to play again, and when I do, I'll be ready for it.
At what point you mentioned learning a fifth offense. Does it get easier as each opportunity comes, or is that kind of system dependent?
It's a little bit of both. It definitely does get easier because you have the reps at learning those other ones, and you kind of know what can help things stick easier. And then obviously some systems are harder than others to learn just from the amount of words there are. But this is a good system. You can tell these guys have really perfected this system and know how to teach it best. So it's been fun to learn.
From a skill standpoint, what do you think you do best as a quarterback?
I think I do a lot of things. I think at the end of the day, I'm a competitor. I think when I go out there, I'm going to leave it all out there on the field and give my team a chance to win. And I think I'm an athletic guy. I can sit in the pocket and make plays with my arm, and also get out of the pocket and make plays with my legs. And so I think I'm a complete player. And I just, like I said, just wait for another opportunity.
At what points in the past did Howell try to trade you? Can he tell you?
No, I mean, I don't know if he actually really tried. I just know that, every time when it felt like I was going to be traded, this was kind of a team that felt like maybe might be a place that I could come to. But just glad that he traded for me this time.
It feels great to be back. Oh my God, I'm so excited, so ready. Just happy to be back in the city, happy to be back with this team, and continue to keep the train rolling.
What was your reaction when you heard about the trade?
I heard about the trade, and I kind of, was like, hey, if I go anywhere else, I'd rather go back to the Eagles. So, I was super happy, super excited. I told my family, told my mom, told my son, and, was just ready to get out here. I almost asked to drive up instead of fly the next morning. So, I was ready to get back.
How did you find out?
Gladstone, the GM for the Jags, called me, and he let me know what was going on as soon as he found out. And, the process went from there. So,
was it shock? Was it?
I kind of felt like a little inkling of something going on, but I didn't know what. I couldn't put my finger on it. So, honestly, when I heard the news, I was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense, and it just went from there. So
what factored into the decision to leave?
I have no idea. You got to ask Gladstone. I don't know.
Oh no, I'm sorry. For you back in free agency, leaving Philly to go to.
I just felt like I served my time here very well, and I felt like I was prepared to attack the next opportunity, the next goal, and that was my own personal goals and stuff like that. And Howie, everybody welcomed me. They said, go ahead, test the market, see where you want to, see where you end up, see what's going on, and I kind of went from there, and I'm back, so ready to attack this opportunity.
What was your experience down
My experience was good. You know, I shout out to everybody down there. You know, Liam, Gladstone, Tony. Everybody welcomed me with open arms, and you know, it was very welcoming, very humbling, very you know, very much so of a grind. And I learned a lot. You know, experienced new things, and had to develop my mental more than anything. So.
Coming back here, is it pretty easy to snap back into everything they do?
Yeah, pretty much so. You know, I know Stout knows me. I know the guys. I'm familiar with this playbook, and you know, hit the ball rolling today with the ones and stuff. So it was pretty good.
Who'd you hear from first?
Huh?
Who'd you hear from first?
Who'd I hear from first? Howie. Howie called me like instantly right after Gladstone called me. He interrupted his call and was like, "Fred, welcome back." And I was like, "Thanks for being back. I could drive right now. I promise. My car is full with gas and everything. I'm ready to be back." So.
How'd Stout greet you?
Start greeting me with a hug. He greeted me with a hug and said, "I want $100." So hey, you know, it was pretty smooth. It was
Were
pretty.
you able to get back here for the Super Bowl ring ceremony?
Yeah, I was here for that. Yeah, I was here for that. I had to grab the ring first. So, you know, it was pretty special moment, pretty special everything, and you know, it's nice to be back here chasing another one.
So the Jags didn't really give you a reason why they wanted to trade you?
I didn't really ask. Didn't really care. I didn't really I mean, honestly, like you get traded. Like hey, I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate, you know, welcoming me in. You know, every shout out to that organization. You know, no disrespect to them in no way, shape, or form, but glad to be back, glad to be here. So.
Which one of the guys would you say was most excited to see you
back? I have no idea. Lane, Cam, Jordan, everybody welcomed me back with open arms, hugs, and you know, smiles everywhere. And you know, hit the ball rolling today. You know, trying not to miss a beat. So.
Have you been keeping in touch with a lot of those guys?
I've been keeping in touch. I've been keeping track on everything. You know, I heard a lot of guys got dinged up and stuff, and you know, I was just praying for the best for them and everything like that. So.
Was wanting to be a starter part of the reason?
Yes.
You went down to and is there all disappointment that didn't happen?
There's no disappointment that didn't happen. I went down there with the right mentality, with the right goals, and I attacked it the right way, the process, and you know, it one of those things that didn't end up working out. Like I said, I developed a lot more of my game mentally, and what I go through and how I attack stuff, and you know, I'm back here, back ready to do what I got to do for this team, and get another opportunity, and this time do what I got to do. So,
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Go ahead.
You've been a versatile reserve here, stepping in, playing whatever position you're asked to play. While you wanted that starting opportunity, how much do you realize how important you've been to this team and how important you are now to this team?
I mean, when you go somewhere that's, obviously they traded for me, they need me, and I'm willing to do whatever for these guys. These are my brothers, these are my folks, and there's no disappointment, no sadness going into it. I'm ready when y'all need me, and that's that. And see where everything comes back after this season. I love Philly. I love everything. I love cheesesteaks. I love all that. But, I'm excited to be back here. I'm excited to, chase, have big dreams to chase. And, I'm ready for whatever comes my way. So.
What do you notice about Lane and Jordan? I know you've been away from them for 4 or 5 months, but now that you're back with them, just the way they approach things. And
everybody approaches things here very, even though we won a Super Bowl last year, you don't see that. You see guys still chasing something like they haven't achieved it already. And, you look at Lane Johnson, you look at Jordan Mailata, you look at Landon, you look at Cam, highly paid, highly compensated. Those guys attack it like they don't have a dollar to their name. And, that's the kind of things that, molded me to be, still, grinding for everything I do. And, you see those guys every day come to work, ready to go, still attacking it, still chasing the ball, still, trying to get after it. If Lane is in year what? What year is it? 13? Come on, bro. He's a Hall of Famer already. He already knows it. And he still come out here every day like he ain't got nothing to his name, no accolades, no all-pros, no nothing. And, that's the kind of stuff that the young guys can learn from. Me personally, I'm still learning from him every day. So.
And if I can follow up, you said in Jacksonville you had to work on your mental. What specifically were you trying to work on there?
Just mentally, it was mentally challenging. Practices, the heat, everything. And, when you get to that point of you can't, you feel like you can't go no further, you got to pull something from somewhere to finish the job, and that's literally what I feel like I had to deal with there, in most part, because I was taking a lot of reps, a lot of long days, a lot of back-to-back practices, and it was just something that I feel like where I elevated my game at. I know I can play, but how long can I play? What do I do when I get tired? How do I attack it mentally? Physically, I got all the gifts in the world to be great, but mentally is where I feel like I took a step forward.
Did you get a lot of questions about winning the Super Bowl from those guys?
I mean, I did walk in the locker room with a Super Bowl ring on my finger, so I feel like they just, like a couple guys asked me what it looked like, and I said, you got to chase something that you ain't seen before. That looks something crazy, but you can't be satisfied with just being in the league. You got to have goals. You got to have something to chase. You're a starter. Okay, so what's next? And a couple people asked me stuff, but not everybody.
What differences did you notice between the way things operate here compared to the way things operate there?
Not too much. Not too much difference. The NFL, it's a lot of teams out here that know how to win, know what it takes. It's not nothing much really different. Just some luck of the draw, some things that's going on. But how things are run was pretty much kind of the same here. But I mean, obviously they had to adjust with the heat and stuff down there. Like you're not practicing at 2:00 down there, so it was definitely one of the adjustments.
Cool, thanks for having me.
I've seen some videos from some other teams where we've seen how the message was received by some of these UDFAs. We haven't seen yours. How did you find out you made the team?
Made the team, had a meeting with Howell and Coach Nick. They called me up and had a great conversation, and I was very happy, very excited, very grateful, to have this opportunity to play for this organization.
Was it like walking toward that meeting, I guess? What was your heart racing?
Not really racing. It was more of I had peace, had peace about it. I just thought of it just going in there and talking to Howie and Nick, so.
Why did you have that peace?
Well, I get my peace from my Lord and Savior. I pray about it. I pray daily and just pray for peace over this situation, over everything, and he guided me through.
Who was your first call?
My first call? Oh, my wife. Yeah, for sure. My wife, Kennedy.
What Howie and Nick tell you when they called you
Asked a couple of questions. Thought they asked me my opinion on how I did during training camp. Feel like I did okay. Could have done some things better. Just working. Continue to work and get better and things of that nature. And then they gave me the good news.
Was there a moment in a practice or a game where you thought like, I've got a good feeling about this?
Not really. I always try to stay neutral. Had a pretty good game the first preseason game, but you got to stay neutral through this whole process. If you can't get too high, can't get too low. Got to stay neutral.
In the past 24 hours, have you taken a chance to appreciate going from Tarleton State to where you are right now?
Most definitely. Definitely grateful. Definitely appreciate the journey. But we're going to keep moving forward.
When you mentioned that A.J. Brown was a player you looked up to. Obviously, you've got to work with him over the offseason. What's it been like working with him throughout training?
Oh, man, just been a blessing to be up under his wing. Definitely my favorite receiver. He knows that. And it's just pretty cool to be with him every day.
When you got here, you kind of acted like you belonged here. Like, you didn't, coming from the level you played at in college, undrafted. Mm-hmm. Where did that come from?
Just having peace. Like I said, staying neutral. When your opportunity presents itself, take full advantage of it. Make a mistake, next play, make a great play, next play, and you just got to keep stacking days like that.
How do you feel about number 41?
I love number 41. Number 41, was a great introduction to the league, and we'll see where that goes.
Sirianni said
so you're not keeping it?
Somebody to do like dirty work, because the offense goes through, the players it goes through. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, whatever the team needs for me to do, I'm going to do it 110%, whether that's on offense, whether that's on special teams.
Now that you made the team as an undrafted free agent, undrafted rookie, what's the mentality now moving forward?
Stay consistent. Just stay consistent and just continue to work hard with my brothers for this organization.
How did your old teammates and coaches at Tarleton State react to making the roster?
Oh, man, everybody was excited. It made me feel very, very grateful, very good, and everybody was just excited, man.
What made you stay there?
Prayed about it, had peace about it, and that was my decision. So I never would change that.
You're a player that coming out of high school, I think I saw a 0-star recruit. Now you went to a small school, but now you're in the NFL, one of the best receiver rooms in the league. Mm-hmm. What would your message be to maybe a high school player that's not getting a ton of recruits, or someone at a small school about fighting through?
Pray, have faith, and work hard. Work hard. You have to work hard. You got to put the extra 500 shots in. You got to, and it's every day. You got to be consistent, and you just got to know. You just got to know what you want to do. So God led me through this whole process, and dreams turn into reality, but it's not. It's more than football at the end of the day. It's about connecting with people and just having great relationships and being in this organization. I'm just very grateful to continue that.
Did Jalen Hurts have a message for you after making the team, and if so, what was it?
Jalen just told me congratulations. You know, simple as that.
How much of in your mind is kind of this the start of the journey and not the end?
Oh yeah, definitely the start of the journey. You know, I know God has something big planned for me, for my family, for this organization, and I'm just excited to ride along.
You mentioned that in your meeting with Nick and Howell, you said that your performance in camp was just okay. Yeah. In what areas specifically do you feel like you really want to grow into now that you've solidified your place here?
Just my detail, coming from, I talked about this before, coming from the school that I was at. You know, we did hand signals and didn't have to hear a play out the huddle and go line up, but just my detail, for sure. Just got to continue to work on that.
Going back to the dirty work, I imagine you didn't do a ton of blocking at Tarleton State, given your role in the offense. How do you feel you, I guess, have done in that role and need to grow in that role?
Definitely need to grow every day. Just getting the extra work in when it comes to that, different techniques and everything. So we got the coaches, we got the staff to help me with that, and we're gonna continue to exceed.
Along those lines, how do you feel like you've come along in special teams, and how have you approached that?
Yeah, just every day. You just got to keep getting better. You can't get complacent. Keep putting the work in every day, and when you look up, you out there making plays.
In the pre-draft process, was the area scout Cam Bradfield someone that you got to know at all? The Eagles area scout?
Camp Bradfield.
Yeah,
really not good with names.
Okay, yeah, the Eagles area scout coming around. Did you get to know them, or were you surprised when the Eagles got in touch?
Yeah, I was definitely grateful when they got in touch. I talked to Phil, and he was he got in touch with me, had a great conversation, and everything led to where we are right now.
How does AJ react when you tell him that he's your favorite receiver?
He just laughed it off. You know, AJ, he just laughs it off. He's a great guy.
Were you close to going anywhere else after the draft when you had options?
Man, we had to make a decision. Me and my wife, we prayed about it, and the Eagles was number one.
What's your wife saying right now?
She's happy. She's happy. She's excited. She has all the feels right now, but she's definitely grateful for where we are and where we're going.
Obviously, there's like the off-field component of having some stability, right? You enter training camp as an undrafted free agent. Maybe your wife doesn't move. You know, this is like becoming sort of a permanent place for you temporarily. But what's that part of it like?
Yeah, it's just, you know, taking it day by day. Just trying to make sure we just make the right decisions. And sometimes we're gonna make the wrong decisions. Sometimes we make the right decisions. But taking it day by day and just making sure, like at the end of the day, we love each other. That's the main thing.
Was there a plan B for you?
Plan B?
Yeah.
As far as
like if this didn't work out, if you didn't make the Eagles, if like you didn't make a practice squad.
Oh yeah, you talking about like if I'm done playing football?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I go back to school, physical therapy, and that's my goal. Even if I have a long career, if I have a short career, I'm definitely going back to school to get my doctorate in physical therapy.
Okay. Yeah.